Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to a Chart Nerd technical analysis video. Today we will be discussing VELO. The ticker is VELO against USDT on the daily time frame. I will also analyze the 4-hour a little bit more micro for us. Now, diving into this chart here for VELO. So of our coming recent correction of the past couple of days, we are still trying from this low to get back to this 0.028 high. Now, slight concerns are the fact that what we've done recently from this 0.007 low is we had a move from this low up into our EMAs, our 55 up here, this red line, which I said in previous videos was being met as resistance, and we were sort of coiling up between a rock and a hard place here, getting squeezed between these EMAs. And I said we was looking for a break. Now I said if you lose support, go short. If we break resistance, okay, then this gives us a signal to go long. So right now, what I think has occurred is that off of this 5-wave impulsive move that we had up into resistance, what we've had to date is currently an A, a B wave into the red 55 EMA on the daily, and then this large, off the closes, this large C wave that's come into fruition. Now you can see yesterday the buyers were coming back in strong here, the bulls were coming back in for VELO, and currently speaking, from the low we put in yesterday, we are up 26%. So fantastic, it's great to see, okay? But to validate this as an ABC, and for this to be the local low and some sort of double bottom that we're building here, we have key resistance above that we need to break through. Okay, we have key resistance above, and these levels of resistance above from this local low here, retracing back to our local highs at 0.012. Right now you can see that we have resistance at the golden ratio between 0.009 and 0.01. Now what's ironic is on the daily time frame, this yellow 20 EMA ties up bang on with the 0618. So is this where VELO is trying to get to? Is it trying to get back to its EMAs? Potentially. As I said, we had this 5-wave impulsive before, where we rallied up into resistance, formed this A, B, C. Right now, we're looking to reverse and try to come back up to these EMAs. I think this is what VELO is trying to do. But right now, we do have key resistance above us that was previous support. Okay, so this is a strong area for VELO to now break through because we had support right here at 0.009. We rallied into resistance, and as I said, we got coiled up, caught between a rock and a hard place, and we actually came down and lost this support. So the fact that we lost this support off of this rally has now indicated that we're running back into the resistance, right? So this was previous support. Back here on the 25th of July, we came down to support, rallied up, but failed to take out the EMAs, and we lost that support. Right now, we've ran back into it as resistance. I hope that's quite easy to see. So this was support, ran into resistance, lost the support, ran back into that previous support, and are now meeting it as resistance. So we do need to see ourselves get back above this 0.0094 in order to see any continuation here back up to the upside. Okay, we have resistance above that we need to get through. Here you got a clearer eye on it, so you can see we've wicked up to this 9.4, which is equally this previous support back here from this corrective wave on our last impulsive push up to the 0.012. So for me right now, it's all about tackling out this 9.4 range. Potentially what we could see if we look to the 4-hour time frame, you'll notice that we have had some sort of V-shaped recovery where we did fall down yesterday. We've started to come up in these waves here into resistance. Okay, so we've ran up to this previous resistance, previous support, and we're meeting it now as resistance for the last few hours. What's also funny in this retracement from this 0.007 range is that we've come up in 5 waves near enough into this resistance level. So if we do see a pullback here, let me get the 20 and 55 off quickly. If we do see a pullback at this previous support that we are now meeting as resistance, just look for a double bottom here, guys, somewhere, okay? Because what normally happens is from the low, you don't generally tend to break out and start retracing straight away. You want to build a foundational base on the smaller time frames. So we've got this sort of V-shaped recovery right now. If we can come back for our higher low and start building up some sort of double bottom on the 4-hour here for VELO, fantastic. And what this could indicate on the larger time frames is that VELO has potentially just come back to double tap this 0.007 range, and we have got a larger double bottom on our hands as long as we can start breaking through resistance. So right now, I think for the next coming coming days, it's all about holding our local low. It's all about holding our local low and trying to build some sort of foundational level of pattern. Okay, as I said, you've got this sort of V-shaped recovery here. We've come back down. Right now, if we can come back for a higher low and start to tackle out of this 9-4 resistance, build up some sort of ascending base and look to reattack these local highs. Okay, because moving forward, this is our key level of resistance. We're pretty much range bound right now between 0.012 and 0.007. So this is literally right now where I think for the next few days or coming weeks, we could see some choppiness until VELO makes a decision. Now, if we fail to hold this local low on the 8th of July that we recently wicked to, if we fail to hold it, I do have downside targets for us. So retracing from our local high at 0.012 back down to this 0.007 low. If we sweep this level of support right now, if we sweep 0.007, then my next target would be the 1272 at 0.006. Now, what this might entail is the fact that what we've got here is a wave 1, a wave 2, this is a wave 3. Right now we've got a wave 4 up into wave 1 resistance at 0.0093/4, which I'm saying right now is our key resistance to break above. If we fail and come back and sweep this low, then initially I think we're looking for the 0.006. For this to come into fruition, we have to lose this local low. Now, it's ironic because, as I've mentioned in previous videos, if we zoom out to the weekly, the 0.006 range ties up with our multi-year ascending support. So if this correction does occur for a little longer, and we do see some sort of choppiness here between resistance and support over the coming weeks, then potentially we could see a touch point on this ascending trend line that I've been speaking about for VELO. And this is where the 0.006 would come into fruition. But to validate that, as I've said, we have to lose our local 0.007 lows. As right now, on this weekly time frame, you can see we're literally caught between support and resistance. So if we can start forming and building some base here, fantastic. Okay, if we can form some sort of double bottom, even better, and break out. If not, and we fail to break this resistance, I would look for this pushback to 0.006, guys. Okay, so right now it's doing everything it needs to. We just need to monitor it, keep our eyes on it over the next coming days. Key points to take away here: over the last sort of 48 hours where we've had this correction, we're going from this low back to our local 0.012 highs. We are currently running into key resistance at 0.0094. So failing to break here, I would expect to pull back to a higher low. If we get one over time, fantastic. If we can build a higher low here off of this low, amazing, because it would look relatively bullish and to give the more probability that we're going to start at least retracing back to this 0.012 high. So that's what I want to see on the 4 hour. Come back for a higher level of support here and then go for the break, not straight away off of this sort of recovery we've seen now. So it would be nice to come for a pullback on the 4 hour, look for a higher level of support and then go for the break. That's my outlook on the short term. On the larger time frames, it's all about holding this 0.007 level of support. That's all it, we've been holding this support. We've had one wick back here in April. We've had another touch point on the 8th of July, and we've just come in for another touch point on the 5th of August. Each time it has bounced to this level, we have seen some sort of really nice relief. So right now on the macro time frames, we are stuck between resistance and support, and it's all about building a foundational base right between this range. Okay, so right now we've come up to resistance, we've come back to support. It's all about building something, a nice structural bottom here underneath resistance, looking to go for the break again up to resistance. Because if we can keep this on the macro, it does look like we have a really large double bottom on our hands here. And if this is the play and we do come up and tackle this 0.012 resistance, then the next move for me off of this double bottom starts bringing us up to around 0.021, which is the retracement back towards these 2.8 highs. So it's all about holding this range right now. We are literally caught between a rock and a hard place, and this key level of support at 0.07 has to hold. Failing to hold that, I've given you your targets. Our targets would tie up with 0.006. So lose this multi-month support for VELO, then my next target would be 0.006, which ties up with our weekly ascending support line that I had on earlier for VELO. So that's my key takeaway today, guys. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please do give it a thumbs up, a comment, and subscribe if I'm lucky. From Chart Nerd TA, take care. Peace out.